Alright, we have done the cube. Now we are going to move on to the cylinder. This is the second part of our shading shapes to form. So this is what our final product is going to look like. So we're going to go back to our blank paper. We did our square on cube on this side, so we're going to move over to the next quadrant to the right. Again, I'm going to outline this just so you can see where the edge of the paper is. You do not need to do this. So I'm going to give you a little bit more room so we can see it. Alright, first thing you're going to do, again, our light source is going to be in the top left, so we are going to put our cylinder in this area. So we want it on the left side so we have room for our shadow, cast shadow coming over here. So you're going to make a horizontal, or not horizontal, vertical line. Going to come over a little bit from the edge, go up at least 4 inches. Do not come all the way down to the bottom of the page, leave a little bit of a break. And then you want at least a 3-inch wide cylinder. Okay, so I'm going to make a little mark here, try to keep this the same distance. Draw another line. You are going to draw this lightly. I'm drawing a little darker so you can see. Then the bottom of the cylinder is going to be curved, just a small curve. Try to even that out a little bit. Let's zoom in just a tad. And then the top is going to be an ellipse, a really thin ellipse. So it's kind of like curving the top. Let's come up just a little bit more and then come back around. This is called an ellipse, just a really flat circle. So it should look something like that. So that's what we're going to start out with. Now, again, our cylinder, the top part's getting all the light. This is a flat surface, this is a round surface, so our shading is going to be different. We're going to leave this light, again, we're going to leave it white. This is our number 1 value. And we want to keep this line light, so we're going to lighten it up by erasing and maybe even putting a couple breaks just on that outside to do it nice and clean. Okay, then our shading is going to be done a lot different on this. Okay, let me show you the final example really quick. You can see where our highlight is. Our highlight is going to be over towards the left side. It's not completely on the left. It's not in the center. Right? It's over in the left quadrant, but not on the edge. This side's getting the least amount of light, so it is our darkest area. So we're going to go from a 7 to a 1 over here. This side's getting a little bit of light, so we are going to go from about a 3 or a 4 to a 1 this way, leaving, again, the top white. So if I were to draw lines on here, I'm going to draw lines on here. I would recommend that you do not. It's just for me to show you how this breaks down. Your highlight's going to be about in this area. So if you draw these lines, please do them lightly. But this is going to be our highlight, which is our number 1 value. Okay, so that's going to stay white. This over here is going to start as a 7 and is gradually going to change to a 1. This over here is going to be our 3 or a 4, a medium value, gradually changing to a 1. Alright, so if we were to shade this, let me show you how I would shade it. I'm going to erase this area right here. You'd start out again, I would start out with the side of your pencil. Start out really, really dark. And then gradually start getting lighter as you come across to your highlight. So I'm letting up on my pencil pressure, and I'm actually want to lighten up about to a 2 before I get to my highlight area. Okay, and you want to keep this nice and smooth and clean as you can before you start in with the blending stump. Remember, your blending stump is not a magic wand. Alright, now we're going to come in with our blending stump and try to smooth this out a little bit. Just going down really hard here, and then I'm letting up on my pressure on my blending stump. And I like to actually kind of go around in circles a little bit so it doesn't show lines. Now, when I get to about my lighter area, I'm going to stop, and this is where you want to take the eraser and see all that pencil lead on there again. We've gotten too dark, so if we go in this area, that's going to be way too dark. So we're going to erase that, and we are going to erase our blending stump. So we're going to get that nice and clean. But then we're going to take the clean blending stump and then just take that and pull that number 2 value into the number 1 very gradually. And you can't see it real good. I'm going to try to zoom in just a little bit. So you can see that nice gradual change. And then on this side, we are going to start around a 3 or a 4. So we're going to start out medium. Keep it smooth. And again, I'm stopping for the highlight, coming back in with my blending stump. And I'm going to try to lighten up as I come across. And pull that lightly and evenly into a highlight. So, this is, let's look again what the final product should look like. Something similar to this. Okay, really, really dark over here. 7, nice gradual change. You don't see any lines here. This is a medium to a light, nice gradual change. The top, completely white. Alright, so nothing up here, really light outline. Now, our shadow is going to be a little bit different. The shading is going to be the same. We're going to start out from a 7 and go to a 1 this way. We're still going to have this white line, but let me show you where the outline is going to be for that. So, go back to our cylinder. Now, you're going to take a ruler and you are going to keep it horizontal, but you're going to hit the bottom of your curve. And this is where you want to very lightly. Again, I'm going to draw it darker just so you can see it. Mine slanted a little bit, so I'm going to straighten that up. Right? You're going to come out. And then, if you were to pretend this, you could see the inside of this and see the bottom. I'm just do not draw this line on yours. I'm just showing you. Okay, right where the top of that hump is, if we were to go all the way up, that's how far you need to go up on the side. Okay, so you can see it just up from the corner, you're just going to go up a little bit. So again, don't draw these lines in here. I don't want to see those. Alright, so then we're going to draw that really, really fine white line in between. And then I'm going to go back to my regular pencil and go 7 to 1. So 7 all the way to 1. Let's look at the other example so you can see it. Okay, so really thin line here. It goes up just a tad, but other than that, just goes straight across and goes straight across and then fades out to a number 1 value. So that is your cylinder and how to shade a cylinder.